Alright, so last time I told you we were going to look at the personal narrative text pattern. Okay, I was going to explain more about that. Basically, for this unit, you have to write a short story. Okay, in grade 8, unit 6, you will write a short story about a personal experience. Okay, this is called a personal narrative. When you write a short story about something that happened in your life. Okay, however, you did this last year, but the main difference between the personal narrative you wrote in grade 7 will be the addition of what we call a story within a story, or a subplot. Okay, so you have the main plot, but then you're going to have a subplot, a story inside the story. So, for example, a subplot. A subplot allows the reader to learn more details about the characters in a story. For example, if your story is about a hero who has to save the world, okay? The main plot, the hero must save the world. Well, your story is going to be involving the hero perhaps chasing the bad guys, and the bad guys chasing the hero, and they fight, and maybe the world gets saved, maybe it doesn't. But when the hero or the villains escape, what happens? What are you going to talk about? What are you going to write about? Well, you could write about a love story. Okay? Perhaps the hero is in love, but is too shy to tell the person he or she is in love with, I love you. So, you tell that story about how the superhero falls in love with somebody, or finally finds the courage to tell that person, I love you. Okay? So, not only do you tell the story of the hero trying to save the world, but you also tell a story about the hero falling in love in the same story. Okay? So, I've provided a personal narrative example for you. Okay? Read it and make special effort to identify the subplot. Okay? This is the addition for grade 8, so this is going to be something we're looking for. This is going to be one of the things I'm looking for. Okay? So you need to open this document. It looks like this. Personal narratives. Okay? That's by clicking on this right here. Okay? Alright. You read the story here. It's the same story basically as the grade 7 story, My Worst School Trip. However, I've added more to it. Okay? Answer these questions as best you can. We'll do this in class. Okay, you can do a little bit of it at home too. And then number 13 is important. In the space below, draw the narrative text pattern diagram. Okay, the one that looks like a mountain. Okay, it's also called the plot diagram. We looked at it in the last video. Okay, and I would like you to write the introduction. Who are the characters in the story of My Worst School Trip? What is the setting? What is the main problem or conflict? What is the rising action? What events happened in the rising action? Write them down in here. Okay? The climax. What do you think is the climax? Write it down up here. Okay? Then the falling action. What events show the falling action? So write down some of the things that happened in the story here that talk about the falling action, or that show you the falling action. So write down the events that happened in here. Okay, what is the falling action? Write it down here. And then finally, the resolution for the story, My Worst School Trip. What happened in the end? Write it down here. Okay? So, that's your job for now. Enjoy!